Hey everyone, I'm Afton Brazzoni. This is the Changemaker Conversations interview series where we talk to marketers and business owners who are moving their businesses forward in exciting ways. And I'm really excited to be here this morning with Ingrid Deon, who's the owner of Wordcraft. I actually had the opportunity to participate in a business accelerator program with Ingrid, and I've, been watching her journey on social media, watching all the amazing things that she's been doing with her company. So thanks for being here today, Ingrid. So if you want to just, dive in and tell everyone a little about yourself and about what you do, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. I'm a social media strategist, and I work with business owners who want to take the guesswork out of social media. So I am like wild about social media and try to get to know as much as I can, and really love to dive in with business owners, help them with social media strategy, content creation, and social media management uh, overall.
That's awesome and so needed because I think, it is such a mystifying field for many people and it's ever changing and just really, really helpful to have a resource that is an expert on that. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit and your journey as an entrepreneur. So how did WordCraft begin? Or, I mean, even if you want to start before that, and how has everything evolved for you over the past few years?
Sure. So my background is in journalism. So I started my career as a newspaper and radio reporter, and then made the switch over to social media, sort of when it became apparent that there weren't a whole lot of jobs in journalism anymore. So I ended up getting a job at a digital marketing agency, and started as a social media coordinator, just sort of at the bottom. I had done some social media management before that. I wore a lot of different hats through the years, and I had a knitwear design business where I sold my knitting patterns and the knitwear that I was making, and did my social media for that business, and also managed a farmers market, ran their social media. I was assistant director of a museum, managed their social media. So I had these like little bits of experience with social media, and then really got to know a ton while I worked at an agency. So like I said, started as a social media coordinator, just sort of answering people's questions on social, and eventually moved up to manager of social. And I was managing people in Halifax and Toronto, from my home in Southwest Nova Scotia. And after 3.5 years of doing that, I think, the bug to start my own business sort of started biting. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it or not because I found the whole idea quite daunting. But I knew that as a woman, I was somewhat being undervalued. Like equal pay is not really something that we've achieved yet. So I thought, well, yeah, maybe I could make a go of this on my own. And I ended up leaving my job, started with a couple of clients that I had sort of amassed on the side. And when I finally launched my business in October of 2019, I had two national clients, Nestle Canada and Manulife Bank Canada, which was amazing. And then a couple of other smaller businesses. And since then, I think now I have 13 clients and two employees as well as me. So yeah, it's been a journey.
I love that story. And, I just want to call out to the audience because I started as a journalist as well. And I think that the storytelling background and really like the drive for storytelling and the kind of the craft around that that journalism requires lends itself so well to marketing in general, but also to social media and really creating authentic connections. So as you were describing that, I could really see kind of your journey there and like how you would bring that value to what you do today as well. So I mean, it's a huge
Yeah.
field. It's ever changing. Like I said, I'd love to talk about what you think are some of the biggest misconceptions that, both marketers and business owners have about social media marketing.
I think a lot of people think that you have to that it's a lot of work, that you have to be posting every day, that you have to like be on it all the time. And that's not really true. I think what the best way to tackle social media is to do as much as you can do, like what you have the capacity to do. Because I think a lot of people get in that mindset that you have to post every day, and then they're overwhelmed by that. And so they do nothing, which is kind of the worst case scenario. But if you can post once a week, like that's fine. That's okay. Posting once a week is great. You're showing up regularly, you're showing up on a schedule. That's great. And if that's all you can do, super. You don't have to post every day. You don't have to be on it all the time. It's great to answer all of your questions and comments though. That's something that you should be doing.
Well, I love to hear that because I am even guilty of feeling, like you have to be on there constantly. So I think just for everybody watching to reiterate, like being consistent is more important than being super, super frequent, I guess we could say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so with a common misconception out of the way, debunked, thank you for that. What would you say are a few simple steps that both marketers and business owners can take to improve their social media marketing?
Yeah, for sure. So planning, I think, is key. So like I mentioned, if if you can plan one post a week or two posts a week, that's awesome. So what I do and what I find is quite helpful is find a time that on a weekly basis where you can plan out those couple of posts that you're planning for the week and just get them done and get them scheduled. You can use different social media management tools for scheduling, or you can use like Facebook has creator, yeah, the publishing tools, Creator Studio, where you can schedule your posts in advance for both Instagram and Facebook. So you can schedule them, decide exactly when they're going to post, and they do it themselves. Amazing. So if you can figure out one day a week, like maybe it's Sunday night, maybe it's Monday morning, whatever works for you, that you can plan your posts for the week, get them done, get them scheduled. It's out of your hair. It's done. I find that is the biggest help. Then you're not like worrying all the time, like, oh yeah, I said I'd post twice this week and I've only posted once. What should I should throw something together, without putting too much thought into it. That's not the best case scenario. And the other thing that I often will tell people is always think about your target audience whenever you're creating any kind of content. So if you've gone through an exercise where you've decided who you've created like an avatar for your ideal customer, or you have an idea like an age range, a location, gender, different likes, hobbies, whatever, income for your target audience, then always think of those folks when you're creating your content, and make sure that it's something that will resonate with them, something that they want to hear about, something that will really strike a chord with them. Like sharing testimonials is a great way of doing that, because then your target audience puts themselves in those shoes, and they're like, oh, that could be me. Like I could feel that way about this product or this service as well. Um, and just and speaking that your target audience's language, that's probably something that you get into a lot. But thinking about what kinds of words do they use, what kind of slang do they use, and using that in your post so that they identify with what you're creating. Those are, if you can manage those two things, like planning and catering to your target audience, you're pretty golden. Like those are the keys.
Yeah, I love both of those because really it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think what you said about testimonials is so powerful because people would so much rather hear from, your customers than they would from you kind of singing your own praises. So I do love that advice. And
Yeah.
again, like these are two simple things that anyone can do. And I think it really speaks to what you say about your own business to take the guesswork out of social media. It really does that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so kind of on the topic of your business, obviously, I think our companies are actually, I started mine in fall of 2019 as well. So I know how like that first year, going into 2 years now is kind of just a time of massive growth and change, I guess I would say. So when it comes to WordCraft, what sort of is next on the horizon for you?
Well, we're still taking on new clients, so that's always happening. People are new clients are coming in, and it's super exciting. We're onboarding new people. Right now, I have one full-time employee and a part-time employee. I suspect that might change as we continue to grow. I'm also trying to get a little repository of contractors that I can rely on if I'm working on a campaign or something, because I'm more of a word nerd than a design nerd. So sometimes I could use a little bit of help in the design department. And also, I specialize in organic social. So I do paid as well, but my specialty, like my love, is organic social. So sometimes I'll have to bring in an ad specialist to help out on a campaign. So just developing those relationships is huge. I'm onboarding a bookkeeper, so I'm hopefully going to take that off of my plate so that I can concentrate on what I'm much better at, because bookkeeping is not what I'm great at. So all of those little things with, like you say, when you're starting a business and there's so much growth and so much change, like there's all these things that I'm learning. Oh, I can outsource that, or I need help with this, you're just always learning. It's wild.
Yeah, and I mean to even bring it back like to the audience here, think about that when it comes to your own social media. I mean, obviously, I'm going to do a shameless plug for Ingrid because it is one of those things where if, the tips that you gave obviously are powerful, but if someone is still at the point where they're just feeling overwhelmed and it's like, I just can't do this, outsourcing is always a really good option for those kind of things. So just know that that is available to you. And on that note, I suppose, how can people get in touch with you, Ingrid, whether that's to reach out or whether it's even to see like, how is she doing her social media? I think that's always helpful. So if you could just share kind of how everybody could reach you, that would be great.
Sure. So my website is wordcraft, so word-craft.ca. So people can book, a 30-minute call with me there, a discovery call, so we can go through what people are struggling with and how I can possibly help them. And then you can find me on social media. So it's Wordcraft Ingrid, all one word, on Instagram, Ingrid Deon on LinkedIn, and I'm also listed as Wordcraft on Facebook. Um, and yeah, if people want to reach out, I'm like more than happy to hop on a call with anyone, and or answer, slide into my DMs and ask me questions about social media. I love that.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, you definitely made me feel better about not needing to be like omnipresent, but just needing to show up consistently. So I do really appreciate your time and your advice
Absolutely.
today, Ingrid.
Awesome. Well, it's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. And everybody, thank you for watching. I will be back in 2 weeks with a marketing tips video, and then I'll be back again next month with another Changemaker Conversations interview. Take care.